Hey, I'm Tony K. Welcome to Transformation School. Thank you for sticking around for the extra credit. We are going to prepare our work surface. Don't want to get super glue on anything, except where we want it. And you want to get these knives safely away. I'm going to use a straight pin as my applicator. I got my Craggle. Little Lego movie reference there. And let's see. I'm going to check the fit of my knife. I would almost like this cut deeper, but I'm not sure how far down the tip of the knife is going into the case. Like right there, it's literally touching the tip. So let's check this side. Yeah, I'd consider cutting this deeper, but I don't want to take that risk. Squeeze out a little super glue. Get some on the tip of the knife, the straight pin, and just put a dab here, a dab over here. Let's try zooming in. Okay, now let's try this on the other side. It doesn't help having shaky hands and trying to do this minute detail. But nobody else is going to do this for me. That looks pretty good. Let's try this next one. Let's try this side. I started filming at 7 p.m. It is now 7 a.m. I can hear the neighbors starting their cars. I assume they're leaving for their day jobs. And I want to tighten up these slots on the backpack. I'm going to put a little more glue down on this paper towel. And I'm just going to dab up a bit. Dab a little dauber. And If this is too much glue, I can always try to scrape some off. Might use a razor blade for that. But I won't know until it cures and dries and I try to put this backpack on. Put a little more glue on the paper towel. Put a little more on the backpack. I really think I've got it there. Okay, I'm going to let this cure for a couple of hours, probably for most of the day, because I am going to want to get some sleep. And then when I wake up, I can finish filming. We can do our test fit. Although, I also want to do the same procedure on the backpacks of the two side bots, because when I parts form this, when these tabs go into these slots, I want this piece to stay slotted in, not just fall out. So I'm just going to put a little dab on each side of the tab. I don't think it's going to take very much. I'm just creating a little bump to create some friction to hold the piece in place. Okay, got that side guy done. Let's get this side guy. Nope, that was the center guy. Shaky hands, shaky hands. That is it for the super glue. I've gotten all sides of these little squares. So I will set this side guy off to the side. I'm going to wipe off my straight pin. Put the cap back on the craggle. And slide these pieces off to the side where I will not touch the super glue. And then one more thing I want to cover in this extra credit is that if you get this guy brand new, a lot of these joints are probably going to be as tight as mine were when I first got my figure. And before going through the transformation process, I recommend, at least this worked for me, okay? So trying to transform just the individual joints back and forth several times. So like with the arms, pushing it in, pulling it out several times until it doesn't feel like it's going to break. And then these thigh joints, again, very tight on mine. Not so tight on the two side guys, but very tight on this middle guy. I, in fact, loosened the screw a little bit on both sides, just a hair, just a tiny little quarter, maybe eighth of a turn. And then I just did this several times, over and over, until it was able to bend. This one still is a little tight. Makes the transformation a little difficult. And then also sliding the knees, or maybe I should say the legs, in and out. I'm just doing this several times, maybe 5 to 10 times. When I first got it, helped loosen it. Let's see, these hip joints, or these hip flaps, very tight on mine. I mentioned earlier in the review that there's stress marks underneath them. So they have loosened up quite a bit. Hopefully they will never snap off. The same goes for this shoulder joint. But rotating this back and forth several times helps to loosen mine up. And I'm not so afraid that it's going to break anymore. Okay, I am going to go rest and recover while this crazy glue cures. Maybe I should say super glue. This one is my favorite, the Loctite Super Glue Gel Control. I generally find the best price on that at Walmart stores. Other stores tend to charge twice as much per 0.14 ounce or 4 gram container. Anywho, resume shortly. So, half a day has passed and we are ready to do our test fits. I have one of the holsters and one of the knives. And fits in there well, no trouble putting it in, and it's not falling out. Let's try another holster. No trouble putting it in or pulling it out, but it's not falling out. Wonderful. And now we've got our backpack. This is not fitting on very well, so I have made it a little too narrow. So I'm going to get the utility knife and shave out some of the super glue that I put in here. And let's see if that fits. Now that does seem to fit, but it is quite snug. I need to inspect this to make sure that's not going to be a problem. Like if I've just stressed this thing out too much. Looks okay, as do these tabs. But I want to put it up here. Cool. Now that's some decent backpack storage. I could also put it on upside down. That's not bad. And let's check this out on one of the side guys. So these tabs are a little more narrow, I think, than the tabs on the middle guy's backpack, because this does not lock on to here now. But that's okay. Thought about doing this. This could work, but then this guy would lose his waist articulation, because that would pop this thing off, whereas the side guys can still store the ankle holsters. So all three guys get a knife this way. That makes me happy. You know what? We need to do a test fit on our side guys' backpacks for our parts forming for robot mode. I'm sorry, parts forming for camera mode. Now that fits in there very snugly. I want to inspect the pegs and the holes to make sure that I didn't overstress the plastic. That looks okay. And the pegs look alright. I would like to do some other mod so that this could peg onto this. But I'm not doing that anytime soon. Instead, I will get my C-clip back out. Do our test fit on this one. Okay, and that's not coming out. Fantastic. And that is our mods or fixes for the Vans Toy Spotter third-party masterpiece reflector. And that concludes our extra credit. Be sure to study for your midterms, and we will see you next class.